we finally get an update to the iPad mini after 2.5 years. And, well, Apple has done it yet again. I would say this is the best small tablet that you can get right now. Hey guys, we have with us today the new iPad mini 6. Let's talk hardware first. Apple has completely refreshed the mini with a new flat-edge chassis that's very reminiscent of the iPad Air. It's nice in terms of design consistency, and I do like the flat-edge design that Apple has taken with the iPad Pro, iPad Air, and now iPad mini. Our iPad mini is actually in the purple colorway, which is kind of similar to the iPhone 12 purple that was released earlier this year. Now the back isn't quite the same because this is glass, but it's a few shades lighter than the purple chassis that's on the iPhone 12. It can also appear a bit silver blue in certain lighting, but regardless, I think it's a gorgeous color. The other color options are pink, space grey, and starlight, which is apparently a blend of silver and gold. I haven't seen the starlight color in person yet, but from photos, it kind of reminds me of champagne gold, which I think would be a pretty nice color on the chassis. The bezels are also smaller now, with a Touch ID sensor integrated into the top power button, which means we get a new 8.3-inch liquid retina display, slightly bigger than the 7.9-inch retina display on the older mini. The Touch ID sensor is okay. It does take around 2 seconds to kind of read your fingerprint and unlock, but it's not too bad. The volume buttons have also been moved up to the top left corner, and one of the biggest changes is the support for the 2nd Gen Apple Pencil. It snaps on magnetically to the right edge of the iPad mini, and while the pencil is almost the entire length of the iPad, there's around 1 cm of clearance around the top and bottom, which means the pencil won't accidentally get knocked off. Below the charging part, you get a SIM card slot here if you opt for the cellular plus Wi-Fi model. On the back, you get the singular 12-megapixel rear camera along with a True Tone flash. The rear camera has focus pixels, which is Apple's name for Face Detect Autofocus, Smart HDR3, and more. At the bottom, you get a USB-C port. Finally, Apple is taking another step away from Lightning. As for the front, you get a new 12-megapixel ultra-wide front camera that has center stage, the same feature that was introduced in the iPad Pro that automatically pans to track the subject during video calls and can zoom in or out to fit more people in the frame. It's a great feature for FaceTime calls with the family or even in Zoom meetings, especially if you're prone to, getting up and using a whiteboard that's behind you or something like that. Anyway, let's get into the inside of the iPad. It's powered by the same A15 Bionic chip that's in the iPhone 13, so this really is the most powerful iPad aside from the iPad Pro that you can get right now. Apple typically doesn't reveal the amount of RAM their products have. The iPad Pro was the exception to the rule. Thankfully, some folks have found out from the Xcode 13 beta that the iPad mini 6 has 4GB of RAM, which is definitely a decent amount for the tablet to run smoothly without any issues at all. The iPad mini also comes with either 64GB or 256GB of storage. Personally, I would say go for the 256GB of storage, especially if you like to download shows, movies, and music to listen or watch offline, because those will add up really quick. There's also 5G and Wi-Fi 6 support, which means even faster internet speeds whether you are out on the go or at home. Apple claims you get 10 hours of battery life when you are browsing the web or watching videos over Wi-Fi, and I would say it's about there. I charged it to full and got around 7 hours of usage switching between Netflix, Apple TV+, Libby, and PS Remote Play. I would say my usage is a bit more extreme because I was looking to fill my Saturday up with things to do, but I would say that the iPad mini 6 can actually last most people for a full day on a single charge, because most people probably wouldn't be spending hours on end watching shows on the iPad mini 6 if they're at home. You'll most likely do that on, your TV. As mentioned earlier, the screen is now an 8.3-inch liquid retina display that can get up to 500 nits in brightness, and you get landscape stereo speakers which do get quite loud. They're excellent for watching shows and movies or even when you're playing games. Overall, content consumption on the iPad mini is delightful. Movies and shows are sharp, vibrant, and just really gorgeous. And here, we get into the real reason, or some would say, the only reason why you want to get an iPad mini. the size. It's perfect as a companion tablet. It's perfect for me to bring to bed, read an ebook, watch a show, or even just bring it around the house while I'm on a FaceTime call. I can't really do much of that with my iPad Pro. It's just too heavy. The iPad mini is perfect for people who want that small form factor. It's not a tablet for you if you're looking to, do work on it or take a lot of notes in class or at work. You'll be gunning for either the iPad Air or even the iPad Pro if you're looking for those. The iPad mini is best as a lifestyle device, and that's really how I used it during the time that I had with it. I did my work on the iPad Pro, which was a breeze because you have that keyboard folio that you can use, and typing up documents or replying to emails is just really easy. But when I was off work, I found myself reaching for the iPad mini, just to watch a couple of shows or even to read a book. In fact, I picked up journaling on the iPad mini because it was just so convenient. I found it so much easier to jot down my schedule, scribble down some thoughts, and more when I was using the mini, as opposed to the iPad Pro, which feels more like a notepad rather than a notebook. Heck, I even used the PS Remote Play feature to log into my PS5 to do some daily tasks on like MLB The Show 21, just signing in for the dailies and stuff like that. Granted, this is dependent on how good your internet connection is, because I did encounter a couple of connection drop-offs, but for slower paced games, games that don't really have a lot of fast-paced combat and such like that, it'll work in a pinch. And of course, the iPad mini 6 ships with iPadOS 15, which means that you do get that easier multitasking feature, although I'd say it's a bit difficult to do multitasking on the smaller screen. But you also get stuff like SharePlay that's going to come out later in the year, so that when you're on FaceTime calls with your friends, you can, be watching a movie together or listening to music together. So, would I recommend this? Hell yes. I think it's awesome, but only if it fits your needs. If you want a tablet that you can take plenty of notes on for school or work, edit photos or videos, or do actual work, you're better off going with the Air or the Pro for the added screen real estate. Even if you just want to watch shows and browse the internet, the new iPad 9 would fit your needs fine too, although it does only come with support for the first generation Apple Pencil. You have to really want what the iPad mini offers: a smaller form factor, support for second gen Apple Pencil, higher performance, and be willing to pay more for something that's physically smaller. But if you fit all those boxes, the iPad mini 6 is the best portable tablet that you can get. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the new Apple iPad mini 6. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to us and like this video. Till the next one, see you guys!